Tonight we have a Sesame workshop presenting for us, and tonight's webinar is Healthy Habits for Life. My name is Sarah Miller, and I'm with Child Care Aware of America. I just wanted to briefly introduce you to tonight's webinar if you've never attended one of our webinars. There is a little question box on the right-hand side of your screen. If any questions come up tonight throughout the webinar or at the end, we will open up for some questions and answers. But if anything pops into your mind and you wanted to just send us your question, you can type it into that box there, and then we'll get to those towards the end. Tonight we have Brittany and Christy presenting from Sesame Workshop, and I'll hand it over to them now.
Hi everyone, my name is Brittany Summer, and I'm a curriculum specialist here at Sesame Workshop, which means that I work on the content and curriculum for all of our outreach initiatives. And we'll be talking about one of our outreach initiatives tonight, and I'm lucky to have Chrissy App with me, and she's one of our project managers, and she'll be chiming in and helping to answer your questions as well.
Hi everybody.
So let's just take you through an agenda of what we're going to talk about tonight. The first thing that we're going to talk about is a little bit about who we are as an organization and some background research behind our Healthy Habits for Life initiative, and specifically the physical activity components. And then we're going to introduce you to all of the materials in the Healthy Habits for Life Child Care Resource Kit. And we're really going to focus on the physical activity materials in tonight's webinar. But as you'll see from downloading the kit, there's tons of other healthy habits, activities, and tools for you to use during your day-to-day routine. We're going to talk a little bit about how to use the media within this initiative, as well as connect these activities to other areas of learning and to customize the activities for the various ages that you work with. So we'll finish the webinar by answering all of your questions, which will be in the chat box on the right, as Sarah said. And it'll be helpful if you have your Healthy Habits for Life kit in front of you to take notes and mark the activities as we go along. So after the webinar, hopefully you'll be able to make the materials your own by trying one or more of the activities from the webinar, by adapting the activities to your own setting, and by using the discussion points that we talk about today as really seeds of ideas that you continue to use and modify as you fit the activities to your settings. But first, we want to begin tonight with a poll, and it's something that we ask in all of our webinars just to get to know you a little bit better. So we'd like to know, who is your favorite Sesame Street character? Is this a group that likes Abby? Is it a little hungry and maybe likes Cookie Monster tonight? Do we like Grover, Elmo, or another character? I see the responses are coming in. We'll give you a few more seconds before we close the poll.
I thought it was going to be a tight race there for a minute, but it looks like a clear leader is emerging.
All right, let's get your responses in. We're going to close the poll, and we'll share the results with you. And you can see that tonight's favorite character is Elmo, which I'm so excited about because Elmo is my favorite character as well. I just think that he's super charismatic, and he's 3.5 years old. So our viewers and the children that we really target relate to him so well, which is why we use him in so many of our outreach materials. And all of our characters are really the most powerful resource that we have in our educational outreach initiatives. I mean, take a moment to think of a time that you've learned something from a Sesame Street character or watched a child learn something from a Sesame Street character. When you put these characters in front of children, they really listen. They want to know what the characters have to say. So having these characters deliver messages about physical activity and healthy habits, we find that that's something that really works, and we want to get these characters into your daily settings. So as I said, I work in educational outreach, and it's really a privilege to be able to create multimedia, multilingual initiatives that help families be equipped to cope with the challenges that they face on a day-to-day basis. We have a Sesame Street website, which you can link to from here, and we'll also be running you through that a little bit later. But it's really jam-packed with materials on everything from literacy to emergency preparation to today's topic, which is healthy habits for life. So the first thing I want to do before we get into the actual resources is talk a little bit about how we begin to develop our outreach initiatives here at Sesame and how we started to work on this project. So as you'll see, we have a diagram right there. That's the Sesame Workshop model. And we are the content team. I'm part of the content team, and my team works together with our research department and with production in order to create these initiatives. Production helps us make the video segments. Research makes sure that these are materials that families and providers, educators really want to use and can use. And then we take all of that feedback and we work to create these initiatives. Where we combine with many different departments. We also have experts from the outside that come in. We conduct an advisory for all of our outreach initiatives and find out what the most important issues are on that topic and take those into consideration. And our advisors really review the materials throughout. So everything that we're presenting tonight is very well tested. The first thing that we do when we're beginning an outreach initiative is look at the need for that initiative. And as we all know now more than ever, it's really important to promote healthy habits in our children and families. And when we looked at the data on obesity and the statistics that there were, we realized that, obesity is affecting us all, especially children. So statistically speaking, 25% of the U.S. population ages 2 to 17 are obese. And 86% of these children become that way before the age of even 6 years old. And obesity-related adult diseases are being found in really young children, the ages of 3 and 4 years old. These are diseases like heart disease and type 2 diabetes. So with the prevalence of these obesity issues, it's really not surprising to discover that the average 3-year-old is physically active for about 20 minutes a day. And this is something that that you guys as child care providers can really have an impact on because you're with these children all day. After we discovered the need for this initiative, we wanted to do some research. So we conducted research with parents, with children, and providers like yourselves. And the research really helps us understand what our audience already knows, what they want to know, and how to build on their strengths and their knowledge. So today I want to share with you the findings from our parent study. And the results of our child care provider focus groups are really reflected in the materials themselves. Our parent survey study was a survey conducted online at sesamestreet.org with a total of 1,205 people. 86% of the respondents were mothers and 14% were fathers. The purpose of the study was to understand preschoolers' parents' perceptions of nutrition, of physical activity, and the responsibility for children's health status. So after we analyzed the responses, we saw 3 groups emerge. The first group was the health conscious, another group was the skeptics, and the last group is the strugglers. We realized that not all parents are the same in terms of the way that they view nutrition and physical activity. The health conscious group, which made up 52% of our sample, scored statistically higher on negative attitudes toward overweight status and the importance of food and exercise compared to the other 2 groups. The skeptics, which made up 24% of the sample, scored lower on skeptical beliefs and lower on parental and corporate responsibility and the importance of healthy food and exercise. And lastly, the strugglers, which were also 24% of our sample, scored statistically higher on the struggle over food than any other group. So all these findings really suggest that there's different attitudes and beliefs on the role of exercise and nutrition in children's health. As a lot of you probably know, there's a strong window of opportunity during a child's preschool years when her early social environment can really impact the development of healthy habits. Children's minds are very malleable at this age, and the messages that we communicate to them can really stick and they can really be influenced by them. So we figured that this is the point in a child's life where Sesame Workshop and providers like yourselves can have a really big impact. So building on this, we developed the Healthy Habits for Life initiative, which is a multi-year content-driven initiative to help young children and their caregivers establish an early foundation of healthy habits that can last a lifetime. And it was developed, as I said, in consultation with leading experts in the areas of preschool health, nutrition, physical education, endocrinology, and pediatrics. So ultimately, The initiative empowers children, families, and providers with a greater knowledge and appreciation for health and the human body. And whenever we develop an initiative, we make up different key messages because it really offers you the chance to pick and choose among the activities based on these key messages to find out what's going to work best during your daily program, because we don't want you to turn around your routine completely to incorporate these activities. We want them to be things that you can do on a daily basis and just incorporate them into your normal routine with your children. The messages for children in healthy habits, especially the physical activity resources, include that being physically active is fun, enjoyable, and it's something that they can and should do at least 60 minutes each day. Try more fruits and vegetables. Eat at least 5 servings a day while enjoying eating a rainbow of colors. And we put it that way in our resources, to eat a rainbow, because it's more fun, first of all, to tell kids to eat a rainbow of colors rather than eat fruits and vegetables. But it's also a message that really sticks. Our Sesame Street characters are all different colors. We can refer to it that way as well. But eating orange carrots, eating red strawberries, those are things that can really stick with kids. And it's important to let them know that what they eat and drink really helps them to play, to learn, and to grow. And that getting to know their body and eating a balance of sometime and anytime foods can help lead to a healthy life. And that's another thing that we have, the distinction between a sometime food, which are things like cookies and things that are not as healthy to eat any time, like vegetables, fruits, and whole grains. For grown-ups, the key messages in this initiative are that both parents and caregivers can really be great role models for eating healthy and for exercising. And you can use everyday moments to help children learn, practice, and celebrate healthy habits. All of your kids, I'm sure, look up to you and want to be exactly like you, and so if they see you getting up and moving around during the day and being physically active and eating healthy, they're probably going to want to do the same things. So now that you know the messages, you might wonder why we focused an entire resource kit on child care providers, and that's because you're extremely important. You're with these kids all day, every day. You're their friend, their teacher, their mentor, and their role model. And in our research, you asked for materials specifically about healthy habits and physical activity, and you wanted to know how to incorporate these messages within your curriculum. And in addition, you wanted materials to create a homeschool connection. So with this resource kit, we're really providing you with all of these things. So now I want to talk to you a little bit about the materials that we're offering in the Healthy Habits for Life Child Care Resource Kit. We show all of the characters modeling fun ways to move and play. We encourage through our activities children to explore and enjoy healthy foods. And the activities provide opportunities to build self-confidence and help children feel really good about themselves and their efforts. Our kit tends to succeed because it offers children many opportunities for fun and learning among its different components. We have a DVD which contains video segments which are also available on our website and on YouTube. We have a storybook, we have a poster, and all these materials are available online at sesamestreet.org/healthyhabits. And we'll walk you through the website a little bit later just so you can get an idea of the wealth of materials that are available to you. The kit was designed so that you can really choose what will work best for you during your daily plans. For example, you can select a section or a lesson at any time to use. You can take a seed idea from the kit and adapt it to fit the needs of your program. We want you to incorporate these things, these activities, within your existing curriculum. So maybe part of an activity will work for you. Maybe the concept behind an activity will work for you, but you want to change around the activity to fit your settings, to fit the materials that you have on hand, and you can definitely do that with these activities. And the good thing about the activities in this kit is that you're really using them with materials and equipment that are already available in most child care settings. So we have different types of video segments online and in the kit. There's a new Sesame Street story that you can either watch as a whole story or you can use it in bits and pieces to fit into your curriculum. We also have short segments that come straight from Sesame Street that can be used individually to introduce some of the healthy habits concepts in the resource. And all of these videos can be found online on our website and on YouTube. The storybook that we provide, and you can download a PDF of this on the website, is called the Get Healthy Now show, and it's a really colorful supplement to the video story about Elmo and the Big Tomato. The book supports you in encouraging children's participation. For example, they can join Elmo in standing and stretching. Each page offers another opportunity for you to integrate healthy habits into different curriculum areas. We also have a 3-part poster that comes with the kit. It's called Every Day is a Healthy Day, and it just helps to further reinforce healthy habits. Each of the kits contain 5 posters which can be sent home with children as part of the important homeschool connection aspect of the program. And if you need more than 5 posters, you can of course download the poster online on our website. You can hang the poster in your classroom, you can send it home with children as well. And on the poster you'll see that Grover highlights all of the ways that children can move. So we're going to focus on section 1 of the binder today, but let me give you a little preview of what's in the other sections of the kit. So section 1, Get Moving, focuses on physical activity, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But section 2 of the kit, which you can also download online, is called Food and Drink to Grow On, and it highlights the ways that we can all make healthy food choices. Children explore that choosing a wonderful rainbow of foods is a great way to eat, and they'll also learn what makes a healthy meal or snack, and they can begin to understand that they can eat certain healthy and nutrient-rich foods anytime, but that there's high-fat, sugary foods that should only be eaten sometimes. They'll also learn to pay attention to their body signals so that they know what they'll need to be happy and healthy. For example, how do they know that they're hungry or full, and what should they do with these signals? The third section is called Every Day is a Healthy Day, and it really builds upon the first 2 sections to help children remember what they've learned and celebrate all of their new knowledge. Children can reinforce what they've learned through the activities that focus on eating healthy and on moving. They practice using the knowledge that they've gained to make healthy choices, even when there's obstacles like a rainy day. All of our activities can really be adapted to be used either indoors or outdoors, wherever and whenever. So today, as I said, we'll be focusing on the first section of the guide, which offers fun ways for children to be physically active. So before we get into these materials, I want to know what the biggest challenge is that you've encountered in creating opportunities for physical activity. So please use the poll tool on the right. Let us know if it's the fact that there's not enough preparation time to plan activities, or if there's not enough space in your setting, or maybe the appropriate equipment isn't always available. Or is it difficult to find time in the daily schedule for physical activity? Or do you have a separate other challenge? We'll give you a few more seconds before we close the poll. Okay, we're going to close the poll right now. Oh, this is interesting. So it's looking like a lot of you are finding that there's not enough space in the child care setting to incorporate enough physical activity during the day. And a lot of you are saying that there's another challenge, which we'd be very interested to know about. We'll be using the chat tool later on for questions, and if you guys can expand on this, this would be very helpful, because as we create new resources on this topic, we would love to hear your ideas. You guys are the experts. You're working with children every single day, so we'd love to take that into consideration. So luckily, our Child Care Resource Kit offers ways to overcome all of these challenges. But before we get into the specific activities, let's take a look at why children really need physical activity on a daily basis. As a lot of us know, physical activity supports the healthy development of our hearts, of our lungs, our muscles, our bones, and much, much more. And physical activity can be accomplished through structured activities or through free play indoors or outdoors. Providers can really model and encourage healthy behavior by moving along with the children. When they see you up there in front of them, moving around and getting really excited about being physically active, they'll want to do the same thing. Physical activity should never be withheld as a punishment. Rather, it can really be used as a reward. For example, instead of offering a food incentive for doing something well, children can be rewarded with 10 extra minutes of free play. So with all the activities provided in the Healthy Habits for Life kit, physical activity can be fun for everyone and done almost anywhere. So as we go through the activities, I think you'll realize that you're already doing a lot to promote physical activity during your daily routine. In the first chapter of Get Moving, called Moving and Playing, you'll find activities and strategies to integrate active time into your daily routine. So let's take a look at a few of the activities and run through them so that you'll be able to implement them in your childcare setting. Move Together, which is located on page 11 of the section, shows how well literacy and physical activity go together. And as I said, a lot of these activities really incorporate other curriculum goals, which is another great way to fit it into your daily routine. So you can copy this poem or you can post it in your room, in your setting, and you can read the poem aloud in an area where children have space to get up and move around. And when you come to an action word, you can encourage children to demonstrate it. You can model it too and help them get excited about moving. You can use a louder voice for action words like jump, and then a softer voice for the calm words like sit, so that kids experience the difference between moving actively and calming down. You can also personalize the poem by asking children to come up with their own moves. For example, when you come to We Can Hop, for example, you can ask the children to demonstrate their own unique hopping move. Or a lot of you guys said that there's not enough space in the childcare setting. So if you don't have the space to take this poem and hang it up in a huge area where there's enough space to move around, maybe you can create your own poem or use this poem and have the kids do the movements while sitting down so that they're still moving their bodies, but they're doing so in a contained area. Move Along turns story time, which is usually a passive activity, into a really active experience. The story follows Big Bird, Elmo, and Zoe as they travel along to deliver Gina's grocery list to Hooper's store. If you're having circle time, you can maybe explain that you're going to read a story that children can tell with their bodies as they move in different ways. As you read the story, you can pause at the capitalized action words so that children can move like Elmo, Zoe, and Big Bird. And you can join in with the children as well so that they can model your moves. The second chapter of Get Moving, which is called Go and Grow, shows ways that you can teach children how being physically active affects their bodies. It's really important that they don't just do the physical activity, but that they realize that it has an importance. The materials in this section really help children see how moving quickly can get their heart pumping, and it can make them stronger. The materials encourage you to build on the active time that's already in the kids' routines by adding 10 to 15-minute bursts of activity throughout the day. We all know that children love to be in charge, so offer them choices to empower them to take charge of their health. You can ask them, would you like to eat an apple or banana? Would you like to do the hokey pokey, or would you like to play jump rope? Telly's Triangle Tag is an outdoor game that also teaches a simple math lesson, once again incorporating curricular concepts. Similar to freeze tag, children can take turns being it. Once the kids are frozen, they can stay in their place with their hands touching at their wrists, forming a V. And any child can unfreeze their frozen friends by making the V into a triangle by putting their hands across it to make the third side. And as I'm telling you that, I mean it's sounding a little convoluted, so what you can do is you can take one or two kids with you and you can model the activity with them first so that the other children really have an idea of what to do, especially if you have younger kids in the setting. Modeling will really help. In the third chapter of Get Moving, which is called What My Body Tells Me, you'll learn ways to help children understand how to balance healthy eating and the right amount of healthy food with the right amount of physical activity. So the activities in this section help children tune into how their bodies are feeling, and they can figure out when to rest, when to eat healthy, and when to keep moving. So the energy dance uses a favorite activity that kids have, which is dancing, to help kids understand that they need to eat good food to run, to play, and to learn. And this is always a really fun activity. You can join in the dancing to help model healthy behavior and to get the children up and moving. The kit lets you use the materials and equipment that are already available in your family child care setting, which I know that some of you also said was a struggle. And it also offers activities that fit in with the ideas and the curriculum that you're already sharing with children. There are three main areas of learning in particular that are supported by the content of the Healthy Habits for Life resource kit. The first is math and science. For example, you can measure ingredients for a recipe, or you can observe what happens when you mix oil with water. Another idea is to compare the color and shape of a carrot with an orange. The next area of learning is literacy and vocabulary. You can expose children to new words that relate to physical activity and healthy eating, like heartbeat and pulse, squat or gallop as they move around and learn about their bodies. Or you can have children find foods whose names begin with different letters of the alphabet. And of course, you can read your favorite books while encouraging children to move. The last area of learning is art and motion. Children can have fun with dancing and drawing and pretend play as they learn that healthy habits can really be fun. So now we want to take another poll. We'd love to know what the ages are of the children in your program. Who are you working with on a daily basis? Let's use the poll tool on the right to find out. We'll take a few more seconds. Okay. So it looks like a lot of you have a mix of these ages, and we're sure that some of you come from center-based settings. We're sure that some of you are family child care, and it can be challenging to have a mix of these ages. But the good thing is that the Healthy Habits for Life activities are really varied, so that even though your children may serve your program may serve children of different ages throughout the day, you can use these activities and you can really cater them to the children that you have. So if you have children of different ages, you might want opportunities for all the kids to participate in the same activity throughout the day. And you probably want activities that are easy to do and require little time to prepare or to adapt. So think about what you want to do and ask yourself, why might all the children in my program enjoy this activity? For what age range is this activity intended? And how can the activity benefit all of the children that I'm caring for? Do I already do an activity that's similar? And if so, how can I integrate what I already do with the resource kit activity? Will I need special equipment or materials to help each child enjoy the activity? And if so, what kind? And are there ways in which the older children can help me prepare the activity? And that's a key thing. As I said before, younger children do much better with these activities when someone is modeling for them, whether that's a child care provider or whether that's an older child in the group. And it can always be fun for an older child to help you lead an activity. So we encourage you to use the ideas of what to plan to help you really create these activities for your program. So right now on this slide, you can take a look, and we have ideas for how to adapt the activities to different ages, how to adapt them for babies. You can hold the children while you sing or dance, or put them in a safe place where they can see everyone. Or you can encourage the other children to talk to the babies during the activities. If you're working with K to 3rd graders, you can ask for their help to set up and organize the activities. And invite them to really show off their skills to the younger children. And mastering these tasks, mastering these physical activities, will give them a really big sense of confidence. And when they have confidence, they're going to want to do these activities at home. They're going to want to show their parents and caregivers that they can do these activities. So that's another great way that these activities can translate to the home. And if you have much older kids, if you have kids in 4th to 6th grade, you can give them the opportunity to be in charge. This will really increase their self-confidence as well, and they'll be able to complete tasks more independently and really help you out. So you can download the free kit on our website, and we want to take a few minutes to walk you through the site so that you can see the wealth of resources that you have available to you. So the Toolkit section of sesamestreet.org, that's sesamestreet.org/toolkits, is an archive of all of our project resources, and some of these resources are exclusive to online. So you'll really find a wealth of information here. And today, it just so happens that the featured toolkit is Healthy Habits for Life. So if you go to sesamestreet.org/toolkits after this webinar is over, you'll have easy access to the Healthy Habits for Life resources. So when you scroll down to the bottom of this page, you can browse through our toolkits for different projects, and you can click on the one that you want. Or if you have the link to a direct project, you can use that link as well, just like we have sesamestreet.org/healthyhabits. That would be a direct URL. So at the top of the toolkit page, you're going to see different tools where you can share the resources on social media sites, which is always really helpful. It helps child care providers like yourselves all over discover these resources. You can also download PDFs of our project materials. We have lots of different materials on the topic of health here, and it's just one quick click to download these materials. We also have a button to switch the page and all of the resources to Spanish, since all of these resources do come in English and Spanish. There we go. Now it's in Spanish. When you scroll down on the page, you can see our video player. This has our Elmo's Got the Moves video, which is really popular on our site and on YouTube. And then you can look right there in the project video library, and it's really all health-related videos that you can incorporate into your daily routine. You can maybe watch one of these videos and then do an activity from the kit with your kids. We also have a rotating tip carousel with great tips that you can use during the day. And another thing that you can do to increase the homeschool connection is to copy and paste these tips into an email to parents, or if you text parents, into a text for parents, and get them on board with what you're doing in the classroom or in your child care setting. If you click on the All Tools button, that just gives you the opportunity to see all of the tools that are available to you. You can download the full Healthy Habits for Life Child Care Resource Guide in 3 separate PDFs. We also have a separate new resource specifically on physical activity called the We Have the Moves Child Care Physical Activity Resource Kit, and that's meant specifically for family child care providers and center-based child care providers. It has some really great activities and extension of curricular points as well. And then you can get all of our other project PDFs on the website too. We also have related project playlists like Healthy Food, Sometimes Food, Keep Your Body Healthy, and Exercise with Me. And these all have other videos that are related to health and physical activity. And then we have 2 games on health right now. It's called Family Food, and the other is called Grow Your Colors. These are great to use with children during the day and to let parents know about so that they can use with their children at home. And of course, we have a link to downloadable videos on iTunes.
And Brittany, I just want to make a point of clarification for those videos. All of the videos that we have on our site and on YouTube obviously are streaming, but if you go to this link on iTunes, you can actually download the videos. So that means you can play them on any device you'd like. They're yours that you can hold on to and share.
So that's it for today's webinar. We would invite you to now use the chat box to ask us any questions about our project materials. And once again, the best ideas always come from you, so we'd love to hear some of your ideas on how to incorporate physical activity into your daily setting.
Okay, great. So as we mentioned earlier, that question box over on the side, feel free to enter any questions into there, whether they are for Brittany and Christy, or if they're for us over here at Child Care Aware of America. We can all see the questions and try to get through them as quickly as possible. And do you guys want me to read through them, or how did you want to do the questions?
Are they in the questions box or the chat box?
It looks like they're in the questions box.
Oh, okay. Sorry, we were looking at the wrong box. But now we have them.
Let us just expand this. Give us 1 minute.
So we see a request to order 20 kits for a group of family child care. So we can't distribute any kits right now, but you can go to our website, sesamestreet.org/healthyhabits, and you can download the materials that we talked about tonight, and even more materials.
Sarah, we can't expand the question box, so would you mind fielding us some questions?
Yeah, no problem.
And something else to mention is that all these materials are free. So when you download the materials from our website, they're free. You won't have to pay anything. You can download as many PDFs as you want. You can make as many copies as you want. And yes, all of our resources are free.
And it looks like a few people had some sound quality issues, but I wanted to let everyone know that today's webinar was recorded, so we will post it on our website, and early next week I can send out a link to the recorded webinar just so you'll have easy access to it.
Oh, we figured out how to expand the question box.
Oh, perfect. What I'll do right now is I'll pull up my email address right here. That way everyone can contact me if you do have any other questions that we don't get through tonight.
We're just looking through the question box right now.
Okay, so you should be able to see here my contact information.
We see that a lot of you do dances with songs and scarves. That's a great way to get kids moving. We actually, in our We Have the Moves resource, we suggest doing an activity using scarves, so that would be perfect for that.
Yeah, Brittany, I feel like maybe we should mention to this group a little bit more about the We Have the Moves resource. So what happened is we developed this Healthy Habits for Life Child Care Resource Guide a couple of years ago, and we've been presenting it to groups just like yours at conferences, and we got a lot of feedback that the section that child care providers needed more ideas on was physical activity. So we took that and we found a way to make a new resource, and that's our We Have the Moves Physical Activity Guide. So that's basically another whole book just chock full of physical activity ideas. And there are different sections of activities that you can do, outdoors, indoors, with a small group, with one-on-one, and we really made sure that we catered them so that you could do those activities regardless of what materials you have in your child care setting. So we highly recommend that in addition to downloading section 1 of the Child Care Resource Guide, you also take a look at the We Have the Moves Resource Guide for just tons more of activities.
Yeah, and I mean, we do provide a lot of activities within the resource, within We Have the Moves, but we also have extensions of all the activities. So really what you're getting is 3 times the amount of activities that you have in this guide.
It looks like there are some questions regarding certificates. We will be able to get certificates out within the next couple of weeks, but just as a reminder, certificates can only go out to those who are registered under their email address and participated in over 75% of the webinar.
We have a question here about whether the videos and resources available in Spanish are the same ones or whether they're limited. On this project, we're really lucky. I think it's like 95% of the resources exist in both English and Spanish. There are a couple of videos that we did. For example, there's a PSA with Michelle Obama. That's obviously only in English. And we also have some Sesame Street show clips that we've incorporated into some of our playlists that would be English only. But especially all the print materials and the videos that were created for the DVD that you can find online or you can download at iTunes are available in English and in Spanish. And it gives us great pleasure to be able to say that, because we know that you need extra Spanish language resources.
I'm seeing that someone was responding to a previous poll saying that the weather is a problem for outdoor play a lot of the times, which is totally understandable. And some of you may have settings where you really can't use the outdoors during the day at all. So these activities can really be catered to your setting. If you need to have the children just stand up and kind of move in their spot, they can move in their spot. As we were saying about the story beforehand, if kids want to make movements from their seats, they can do that as well. It doesn't have to be outside. It doesn't have to be in a large space.
I see that there are a lot of questions about whether there's a cost associated with a kit or how people can get their hands on physical kits. There are never any costs to either download something online or to receive a physical kit. Unfortunately, what has happened with this project is that these are so popular, we have just run out of kits. So we're hoping that we can do some fundraising to reprint more of these materials. And the way that we typically distribute these, I see there are a lot of questions like, is this a kit that I might have received at a conference? We do try to target conferences and places where there will be a large group of child care providers so that we can just make sure that we're getting the best bang for our buck in distribution. So you probably have seen these before at conferences, but they're exactly the same as what you can download online.
I see, are there cooking examples to promote healthy eating? Within the kit, we talk about various cooking examples. We talk about, I mean, there's always great ideas for things that you can do with cooking. You can have parents and children together and do a simple cooking activity with them. You can bring math into cooking activities by measuring the ingredients and recipes. There are numerous things that you can do. No matter what your setting is, you don't have to have an oven. Children should not be around the oven, most likely. But you can do simple preparation activities with cooking that can teach kids how to eat healthy and also incorporate curricular components.
And I'm glad that somebody asked that, because that's why we wanted to show you the Toolkits landing page. When we were stepping you through the website, it was the first picture of the website that we had there. And we couldn't show you the whole page, but if you scroll down, you would see that there are probably 14 other initiatives just like Healthy Habits for Life on a range of topics. And one of them is food insecurity. So we have a kit called Food for Thought, and that's eating healthy on a budget. So we've got lots of great ways that you in your child care setting, especially if you're a family child care provider, can find ways to make healthy meals on a limited budget. And then there are also great ways that you can, if you know that someone at your center might be struggling with finances, that you can send home recipe cards, you can send home one of these kits, and you can recommend activities that they can do together with their child to promote healthy eating, but with limited resources. So I really highly encourage you to check that out. It's called Food for Thought.
Okay, it looks like another one of the questions we have here is, do you hold conferences or meetings on these topics or just webinars?
Hi. My name's Grace, and I'm Chief of Policy and Evaluation here at Child Care Aware of America. That is a great question. In fact, we have a big policy symposium in the spring, and we're going to have a special day for child care providers called Health Aware. It's an event promoting healthy eating and physical activities in child care programs. If you like this webinar today, then this training session is going to be fantastic. It's going to be a lot of hands-on activities and ways to really promote nutritious foods in a way that children are really going to love, in a way that's easy to do, and lots of fun activities that are really designed to increase coordination and reduce the likelihood that a child might get overweight or obesity today. I heard that the presenters mentioned 25% obesity today. So we're going to have a special day. It's April 11th. It's called Health Aware. In the follow-up email, we will give you a link to the page on our website about our 2013 conferences and our day-long special event promoting healthy eating and physical activity with a link. It is Thursday, April 11th.
And that will be taking place in Washington, D.C.
Sarah, we also see there's actually a slightly off-topic but fun question here. Someone wanted to know how they could find out how old each Sesame Street character is. That's a great question, and I'm glad someone picked up on that. Each of our characters, you know, we think of them and we know what their traits are, but they're really we try to map those to a specific developmental stage. And you can find that out in one of two ways. You can either go to Muppet Wiki, which is a completely third-party, has nothing to do with Sesame Workshop run website that just has a ton of information on the characters, or you can go to sesamestreet.org and click on About the Show, and that's kind of like a fan page, and you can find pages for each of the different characters and find out fun facts about them.
That's great. I didn't even know there were other resources to find it other than the website, so that's great.
Yeah, I think, oh, go ahead, Sarah.
I was just going to go on to this other question here regarding other webinars like this. As some of you who are on tonight's webinar may remember, we actually did a webinar with Sesame Workshop back, I believe it was in October, and we do these monthly webinars towards the end of each month. We are setting up the February one right now. It should be on children's dental health, but the link is not yet live on our website. We're still trying to confirm the date on that. But we also host weekly webinars. There are Lunch and Learn webinars. They're Thursdays at 12:30 p.m., and the full list of those topics is listed on our website. So if you are interested in participating in more of our free webinars, you can shoot me an email or check those out under the policy tab on our website. I can also include a link to that in that email that I'll send out early next week. There are a couple questions regarding the certificates. Certificates are not going to automatically be sent out based on registration. They are on a request-only basis. So if you are looking for a certificate for tonight's webinar, I will need you to email me, and I will get that out to you next week sometime.
Sarah, we had some questions about how people can follow up on some of the statistics that we presented in the webinar tonight. And I just thought that was probably a good opportunity to tell people my email address. It's Christina, CHRISTINA .app, A-P-P, @sesame.org. If you have a question about the statistics, you can just shoot me an email, and then I can send you the footnotes with the statistics so that you can look up where those came from. And that goes for any other questions you might have about this or other Sesame outreach initiatives.
We have a question here that says, do the characters ever do webinars?
We haven't done that before, but we're toying with that idea right now. So if we go ahead with that, we'll have to be sure to let everyone at Child Care Aware know about that.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Christina, it looks like they're asking for your email address again.
We actually have, if you want to turn back to the presentation, we have a slide that has Chrissy's email information on it, so take it down. There we go. Hopefully everyone can see that information. If you have any questions about anything that was said tonight, about any of our health resources or any other resources, you can email Chrissy at christina.app@sesame.org.
We'd also really just like to hear your feedback on if you've used these kits in the past, how you're using them, any comments you have on suggestions of things that you would like to change or things that you would like to see in the future on this topic. Please feel free to tell us anything. We especially love anecdotes about anything kids might say while you're doing these activities with them.
Okay, and then just a couple of questions here, and then we'll try to wrap up tonight's webinar. We just want to be respectful of your time. But there is a question regarding these free webinars. The first question is there a reminder email for these webinars? Once you sign up on our website, an automatic email will be sent to you as a reminder 24 hours prior to the webinar, but there is no other email reminder that's sent out. And those webinars are accessed through the Child Care Aware of America website, not through Sesame Workshop's website.
Okay.
Okay, well, it looks like we got through most of these questions here. If something else does come up, please feel free to email either one of us, and we will get back to you regarding those questions. But I do want to thank everyone for joining us on our webinar tonight. We really appreciate having you log in and join us to learn about these healthy habits for life. But I hope everyone has a great evening, and we'll see you on our next webinar. Thank you.
Thanks
Thanks so
everybody.
much, everyone.